Hey everyone, welcome to today's QnA Helpline. Every Thursday, I take some time to answer my members' questions, and today I'm going to talk about a specific topic before I actually answer the question sent in by one of my members. Alright, so today, the major topic I'm going to talk about is basically how to get the fastest appointment in today's market. All right, so one of the questions I received is, one of the members, he asked me this question that, I have my ads running and I'm getting leads from online, and the thing is that I'm having trouble how to get leads, how to convert those leads into appointments. So what is your suggestion? All right, so first thing first, let me clarify that, uh, in any market, in any kind of marketing that you run, right, the number one thing that you need to do right from the start is basically, give them what they want, all right? And then when you give them what they want, then you're able to attract the best kind of prospect, and then basically you can convince them and get them to convince them to see you so that you are able to put yourself in front of them in a meeting, and then after that you're able to present your benefit, and then you can close, right? Okay, so this member, his issue is that he got leads but he's not able to convert those leads into appointments. So okay, here's the thing that you need to understand before you convert anybody, before you convince anyone, right? The number one thing that even I used to struggle with as a realtor, and now as a coach my members struggle with this. And even when I was having a team of realtors, right, even my realtors struggle with that. And that number one thing has to do with follow-up, right? So follow-up is important. Follow-up is mission critical, and I like to say most of the time, in fact all of the time, I like to emphasize the fact that follow-up is everything. All right, if you don't follow up you get all the leads. If you don't follow up you're gonna waste all your money, right? In my years in real estate, in my years in coaching, right, I've never ever seen any realtor get out of business because they got too much appointments, right? But I've seen realtors struggle, and I've seen realtors get out of this industry because they got too many leads. Let me repeat that what I just said. I said I've never ever come across any agent who had to leave the industry because he got too many appointments. But I've seen agents who left the industry even though they got so many leads, right? So basically, appointments put money in your pocket, right? So basically, it's a income producing activity, all right? So the thing is that when all the kind of marketing that I myself do, I make it a point to understand what my prospects want, and then I give it to them, right? That is why I always 100% of the time I get flooded with more leads than I can handle. My agents get flooded with more leads than they can handle themselves, right? So that is a good problem to have. But the thing is that if you don't solve it, if you don't have systems in place to do automatic follow-up, number one. Number two, if you don't have the discipline to call them as soon as possible, you are going to lose money, right? You're not going to get that money back into your pocket. It's money you already paid out for advertising, right? So that's the critical thing to understand here. That's very important to know, right? So okay, what I would advise, what I would recommend for someone who got leads coming in but doesn't see closing is that the first thing you need to do is you need to fix the leaks in your business. You need to fix all the holes inside your business, right? So one of my mentors, Dan Kennedy, he taught me that, you know, uh, businesses, a lot of businesses, right, they are leaving money on the table. They have holes in their business. Without without fixing those holes, right, what's going to happen is that they're gonna lose money, right? They think that they have a problem with lead generation, but the problem is that with lead conversion, right? They're not doing effective follow up. So not doing effective follow up is frequently one of the biggest holes in any realtor's business. So My advice is, number one, the first thing first is you have to follow up as soon as possible, ASAP. That means the minute you get a lead, the minute you get an inquiry, the minute someone reaches out to you, immediately follow up, call them up. Why? Why do I say that? Okay, if you take your time, if you take your sweet time, if you're gonna get flooded with leads, you can pick and choose. That advantage only works when you know which one is more qualified and which one is less qualified, right? In terms of motivation and timing. But if you don't even bother to go and follow up, you don't know who to pick and choose, right? So pick and choose is for you so that you don't waste your time on those people who are not gonna turn up, who are not gonna pay you money anyway, right? So you cut all these kind of prospects, cut your time so that you don't waste your time on them, right? So that's why the whole idea is to pick and choose. But the thing is that, if you're not even following them up with them, right? One big problem which is going to happen is that those leads, they're going to come back to you when you call them, right? When you follow up with them, right? They're going to say that they don't remember. Number two, they lost interest, right? Number three, if you take your own sweet time, they are gonna get someone else. They're gonna get, engage another agent who is your competitor. So you already lost, right? You already spent the money, yet you lost to your competitor, right? So this is the consequence of not following fast enough. And honestly, this is one of the challenges that I face as a realtor. I used to get angry at myself why I couldn't follow up fast enough. And when I was a team leader, I used to get angry. I used to get very frustrated at my team member who were not following up fast enough. And today, as a coach, as a mentor to my realtors, right, I do get angry. I do get frustrated if you don't follow up fast enough because you're burning money. Imagine, picture in your mind that you have you have a currency in your hand and you light it on fire and you throw it in the toilet. That's what you're doing if you don't follow up fast enough, right? So what I can say is, for you to follow up fast enough, you got to spend some time away from distraction. Make it a point every single day to follow up every single day. When you wake up, after you wake up, you have a wake up routine, right? So I assume you also have a work routine, right? When you have a work routine, you got to set up time to follow up, to call all those leads one by one. This is something you cannot delegate. This is something that you cannot do. Get someone else to do it. If you are lazy, guess what? If you hire a team member, he's going to be lazy too because you are setting up the example, right? So you got to back up. You got to be the leader. You got to do these things by yourself. You got to do all the basic things. This is basic. This is fundamental. Without picking up the phone, you're not going to have an appointment, right? So you got to pick up the phone and set aside time every single day to pick up a place, pick up a location, and stick to it every single day. Make it a point to call all your leads. And what's gonna happen is that when you call all your leads, right, you're gonna get appointments. You're gonna get your calendar booked with appointments. I can assure you that. All right. And then the next thing is, after you get an appointment, you got to have a killer presentation, right? So the killer presentation means that you set yourself apart from all the other realtors in the marketplace. So the good point is that when you use my PowerPoint, when you use my presentation, right, the bar is being raised. So the seller, he will compare everyone else to you because you are the one who showed your presentation, right? And I can guarantee that the seller will be impressed if you do it right, all right? So follow up fast enough, follow up in a timely manner, and then use the right presentation to close them, all right? So that that is my advice to someone who is struggling with not having enough appointment, right? So all right, so today's topic, I'm moving on to today's topic. What is today's topic? I'm going to talk about what is the best ad to run right now in today's market so that you get appointments, right? And the best, absolutely best ad that I've ever run, and it was consistently, it was 10 years ago, it still works today. And that ad is, bank auctions. Download a list of bank auctions, undervalued property, bank auctions, uh, 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 distress sale, right? So it's a distress property. So that ad works very well. The reason why it works is because from the point of the prospect, from the point of the potential buyer, right? It it gives them the idea that there is a deal, right? They're gonna get a discount, right? So the thing is that some agents come back to me, hey, I said, why am I gonna offer them a list of auctions home when my agency doesn't do a list of auction home? Let me tell you something, right? You got it wrong, right? You're looking at it from a totally different perspective, and that is the wrong way to do, right? You got to offer them what they want. They want a discount. They want an undervalued property. They want a good deal, right? They want to save money, right? So give it to them. It doesn't have to be your list. It doesn't have to be something that your agency has, right? You can give them a few lists of auction homes, and then you can put in new launch, easy. Why? Because some developers have discounts, right? So that comes under discount. This comes under undervalued property, right? So it's logical. I've never had any prospect tell me that, hey, I'm not interested in that. They always want a discount. They always want lead. They always want something, a list of properties that they're gonna save money on, right? So you give it to them, right? Let me give you an example. One of my customer, even before he came to me, his name is Harrison. Even before I worked with him, he was already very successful. Why is that, right? The thing is that he make it a point to give his prospect what they want. He worked with Indonesians, and Indonesians, let me tell you something, they love Singapore. They love anything to do with Singapore. They send the kids to Singapore to study, right? They love to come here and spend their money. They love to buy, expensive branded goods from Singapore because it's cheaper over here than it is in Jakarta, right? So, and that is why they also love to buy properties in Singapore. So, Harry told them, you want properties in Singapore? I have those properties and I'm going to give it to you. And that is why he quickly, got flooded with all those buyers from Indonesia, and they buy and buy and buy, right? So the whole point, why am I telling you this is give what they want, and then you're gonna, succeed faster, right? Why make life needlessly harder, right? Why you must come from the mindset that, oh, I have this to sell, I'm looking for buyers, right? That's the wrong approach. Go to the buyers. A marketer goes to the buyer, looks at what they want, and then give it to them. It's the other way around. So you got to do it, right? So that is why this ad I just told you, the list of undervalued, no, not undervalued, the list of bank auction works. That ad works very well because it gives them what they want, right? So it can work in any market. It can work in good market, boom market, or it can work in 10 years ago, 2009 economic crisis used to work there as well. All right, so it's gonna work in any market. So yeah, so earlier on I talked about how to solve problems with follow up, right? Not getting enough appointment, and now I talk about the best ad to run. So every week I have a QnA helpline, and I love to answer your questions. And if you have any concerns, or if you have any questions that I should address in my next QnA helpline, just shoot me a message and I'll be happy to do it. Alright, see you.